What's going on, guys? So my friend Ray and I have a podcast called the Film Monsters Podcast, and in our most recent series of episodes, we discuss science fiction films. In our last episode, we were talking about time travel movies, and Ray recommended me this film called Timecrimes that I had never heard of, and I decided to jump in and watch this movie blindly, and this movie was nuts. So I'm looking forward to talking about it in the review. Timecrimes is directed by Nacho Vigalondo. A man accidentally gets into a time machine and travels back in time at nearly an hour. Finding himself will be the first in a series of disasters of unforeseeable consequences. So this film stars our lead character, Héctor, who is living in this house with his wife. And they're moving into this home together. They're kind of just getting settled in. He's seemingly bored with his mundane life, and it's shown very early on. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do with himself, and he doesn't really know. And so one day he is outside in his backyard, and he's got these binoculars, and he's looking out into his backyard, and he sees this woman, and he doesn't know what she's doing, and he kind of looks back at his wife, and when he cuts back to look in the woods again, he sees the woman again, and she's completely naked. And his wife ends up leaving, and he decides to go into the woods. Well, when he gets into the woods, he finds that woman, and she is completely naked, laying on the ground dead. And he turns around, and there's a man behind him his head is completely wrapped in a bandage, similarly to like the old Invisible Man look, and he stabs him with a pair of scissors. And so Héctor takes off running, and he goes and he hides, and it like turns to nightfall. And he finds this huge facility, and he's running through, and he goes into the building, he breaks the glass in the building, and he finds this walkie-talkie, and he calls on the walkie-talkie, and this scientist answers, who's the only one at this facility, and he says, "There's this man outside, I can see him on the cameras, he's chasing you, you need to get away from him." And he's like, "Well, where are you?" And he says, "I'm at the silo on the top of the hill. Come up to the hill and we'll get you away from him." So he runs up to the silo. The guy, he can't see the guy. He gets up there, and there's a huge dome in the middle of the room. The guy said, "Get in here and hide, and when you hide, that guy won't be able to get you, and I'll get in there with you, and that way we'll both be okay." So he gets in that dome area, and he lays down in it, and the guy turns the machine on, and he doesn't get in with him. When the machine opens back up, he has time traveled back to the beginning of the day before he got there. And you find out that he has done this intentionally, and we're trying to figure out why he's doing that. And the entire movie just examines what the repercussions of the actions of this person and how it can affect this timeline. And I always find time travel movies to be super fascinating, and what I really enjoyed about this movie is it really explores that idea of repercussions of your actions, and how if you manipulate something in time, it's going to have negative ramifications later on. And the directions that this movie takes, it's really just kind of twist after twist after twist, where the lead character makes decisions that sometimes you're just like, what in the hell are you doing, dude? Like, making the worst decisions imaginable for himself. And it's always really interesting to see kind of where it turns up. I will say the third act, although I think the movie ends really strong, there's a couple of moments in the third act that I feel like it kind of lingers on for a little bit too long, to where I was like, okay, this probably could have been wrapped up a little bit quicker. But at the same time, I really enjoyed myself for a majority of the runtime of the movie. I thought that it was a lot of fun. I thought that it was really well put together, and it was really just overall an enjoyable experience. And I'm really glad Ray recommended it to me. I think it has really nice cinematography, especially for a film that was shot on such a low budget. This was really early in Nacho's career, which I believe he ended up going on to do the film Colossal, which was produced by Neon, that I know was really popular when it first was released. This is a guy with a really great track record, and it was cool to see a film this early on in his career, and I really enjoyed this a lot. I think that it's not a perfect film. There's a lot of moments where you just kind of leave you scratching your head, where you're like, okay, well, this doesn't 100% make sense. That you can pick it apart quite a bit, but I still think it's fun enough, and it has enough humorous moments mixed in with some serious suspense that it keeps you wanting more. And that's the most you could ask for in a time travel film. I feel like there's a lot of time travel movies that just kind kind of follow the same formulaic pattern over and over and over again. And this one didn't. This movie did a really good job of being its own unique thing. And I want more movies like that. I think those are the most fun to watch and the ones that I get the most entertainment out of. And so if you want, check out Timecrimes. It was a lot of fun. It was way better than I would have ever expected it. So have you seen Timecrimes? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was amazing. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I look forward to revisiting it again sometime in the near future. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.